All righty. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my weekly live. This is Brenda Miller. I'm Stampin' Up demonstrator in Basking Ridge, New Jersey, and I go live every Wednesday showing you what I'm working on. I'm usually here at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. I'm a few minutes late today. More technical difficulties. So it seems like every day is a surprise when I come on here. Um, Anyway, I'm excited to show you what I've been working on, and I apologize that you're looking at my desktop instead of me. I hit the wrong button there, I guess. Um, don't know how that happened. But anyway, this is the card we're going to make today. And I have a couple of tips that I want to share with you. We are going to be talking a lot about online exclusives. Now, Stampin' Up! Has a nice line of items that are available only in the online store. And the reason for this is because they want to be able to have timely way of getting new products out there, and also not to have to be reliant upon a print document. Believe it or not, they work on these catalogs 2 years in advance. So it really takes a lot of time. But this way, if they have online products only, they can put stuff out there that we can get in a more timely manner. And I heard a great analogy. It's like, when you go to an online store, I like to shop at J. Jill online, and sometimes they have some products that are only online that you don't see in the stores or in the catalogs. So it's kind of like that. Actually, it's exactly like that. So we have a bunch of products that are out there that are sometimes they're just there for a limited time, and sometimes they're there for a very long time. And two of the things that are there that have been there for a very long time are some of our circle punches. So here we have the two circle punches that used to be in the main catalog and now are simply on the online website, and it's the 2-inch and the 1 3/4 inch. And I'm going to use both of these today, along with the 2 3/8 inch. So also, there was a release of designer series paper. Look at this. Look how pretty this paper is, right? And there are all kinds of, as you know, I have a hard time showing designer series paper that's 12 by 12, but you can see, I'll just page you through a little bit of some of the designs that are there. And this particular paper pack is called Delightful Floral, and it is designed to go with the translucent florals stamp set that's available in the mini catalog. So I wanted to go ahead and use this and show you just a great easy way to use it, and to let you know that this package of paper, along with several others, are out in the online store. You can see that by going to the online store and just clicking on online exclusives. There's a button for it, or at least in the menu, you can find it there. Online exclusives, and you can find some of these products. So let's go ahead and make this card, and I'm going to share a couple of other things with you. So we're going to take a sheet of Berry Burst cardstock, and this is just a standard size. I'm going to fold it in half and just give it a good crease there. And this card is horizontal. Now I want to show you another item that's just in the online store, and this is our polka dot embossing folder. This is one of the online exclusives, and it's one of 3 that are in a pack called Basics embossing folders. So it's this one, and there are 2 others. One of them is like a crosshatch, and I'm sorry, I can't remember what the other one is at the moment. Of course not. But this one makes these lovely polka dots. And since we're working with circles today, I thought this was the perfect background for this card. So you can see I sent it through the embossing folders. These are 3D embossing folders, just so you know. So you need to have the embossing plate to go with it, and you remove all the other plates other than the platform when you're using your cut and emboss machine. Okay, so again, that's an online exclusive. But before I do that, let's go ahead and take a piece of another piece of cardstock and put it right on the inside of the card. You know, I like to do that. This looks like it might cover the whole inside of the card. Let's see. No. There we go. All right. So we have that on the inside of the card. Okay, you know how to do that. Now, before we put this on the front of the card, I'm going to put on some of our beautiful ribbon. This is called Iridescent Ribbon, and this actually is in the holiday catalog, the September to December mini catalog. And I'm just cutting it on an edge, on an angle, and I'm going to do what I like. This is the way I like to apply ribbon to tie a knot in my ribbon. I like to tie a knot at the top of a loop. Now, usually when I'm showing how to use ribbon, I'll cut it into 2 pieces because that's an easier way to do it. But for those of you who are wondering how I like to do it, it is like this. And of course, I probably cut it a little too short because I have other things on my mind today, I guess. All right, let's try that again. Tie a knot at the top of a loop. So I want my pieces to be straight. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, so now we tie it. So it's basically just doing it's a square knot, right? So it's right over left and then left over right. And then I'm going to pull it really tightly once I get that, leaving a loop at the bottom. Okay, so you see how I've tied? So that's where I always say I tie a knot at the top of a loop. See how that's a loop? Ta-da! And then I just take my scissors and I'll cut it at one side because I know I want my ribbon, my knot to be at more towards the edge. And there we go, we have that. So now I can adhere it on the back, and I'm just going to use my regular adhesive for the ribbon. So just put that on there. I probably could have used a little bit more length, but as long as I have enough to go around the card, that is good. Now, one nice thing about using ribbon and doing it this way is that you can easily, I need to loosen it just a little bit, so I'm going to peel it off, let it loose, let it go a little bit, and now here we have it. Okay, and now I'm going to apply this to the card front, and because it's an embossing folder, I'm going to use my wet adhesive as I do, right? Because we like to get into those nooks and crannies. Gotta use my line, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and put that on the front of the card. So that's the beautiful iridescent ribbon, and it goes beautifully with lots of holiday cards, but it can be used for anything. And I don't know if you noticed, but it gives kind of a pink shimmer. Now, if this was on, it would actually show as a blue shimmer, which is really kind of cool, right? Okay, so now I'm going to I took a 3-inch strip of my designer series paper here, and I'm going to use the biggest circle that we have in a punch, which is the 2 3/8 inch punch. This is part of the bundle with the Circle Sayings stamp set. Now, I know I've used this a bunch of times on my lives. You can go back and look at some of those videos. It's a great set to use with this circle, all coordinated. And I'm just going to go ahead and punch out the big circle. Okay, so here we have that pretty circle, and I can decide which way I want to hold it. And then I'm actually going to use the 2-inch circle, and I'm going to cut another one, but I'm going to be using it from this side. So I didn't have to turn it over, but I just wanted you to see that I'm cutting it from the other side. Okay, now this is a tip I wanted to show you, and I also have a public service announcement. Sometimes when you punch things out, you get like a raggedy edge, and that's just the nature of our punches. And to be honest, I notice it most with circles. I don't really find it with any other shape, but I want to show you what to do to get rid of it. Now, you can use scissors if you want to, but this morning I had my mammogram, so I highly recommend everyone go get their mammogram. Something that we should be doing annually, or whatever your doctor says. But I had mine this morning, and look what they gave me as I was leaving. And I saw it and I said, oh my goodness, first of all, it's pink. I love pink. And second of all, I said, for me to share, and especially because I'm using circles today. So hopefully, somehow I switched, something happened here. So let's Give me 1 second, get back to my solo layout so you can see my desktop. Wasn't that nice? Okay, anyway, so we're going to use this. It's just a nail file, okay? And we're going to use the nail file to sand the edges. And now, when you're working with designer series paper, it's going to show a white. The core is white on our designer series papers, and I think that's the case for all of them. But you can get rid of by just sanding downwards and around. You can get rid of that rough edge. Okay, so I definitely recommend. Now, of course, you can get sanding tools from anywhere, but I was given an emery board this morning. I said, "Oh my goodness, this is perfect for today's presentation." So there we go. We have that, and then with the smallest punch that we have, the 1 3/4, I'm punching out circles, and here we go. I pre-punched that, and this again, it has a little bit of an edge, and you can really see how this works with the white because of course all of our cardstock is actually colored through and through. It does not have a white core, so this technique works perfectly if you have rough edges on your cardstock. Okay, so there we go. We have our 3 circles. I'm going to take some dimensionals, which were right here. They are. I knew they were here. And we are going to add them to the card. I'm just going to use one on the back of each. So this first one, I'm going to put, I want this one to go underneath the ribbon. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tuck that under and just push it down, and now it's there securely. Next, I'm going to take, I'm not happy with this yet. Okay, there we go. This one, and I'm going to put this one so that it goes over the ribbon. You can do it all underneath, all over the ribbon, whichever you want. I like to mix it up a little bit. So I'm just going to make sure that my my dimensional is not going to actually stick to the ribbon because I don't really want it to be stuck on there. And you see how nicely that coordinates. And then for our sentiment circle, I'm going to do 2 things. First, I'm going to take another piece of Berry Burst cardstock, and with my 2-inch punch, I'm going to cut out a circle. And that's going to be my backup for it. And because, usually I don't really care, but because I have my nail file here, I'm going to go ahead and take that off. Take off that little extra edge. There we go. And then I'm going to stamp on the circle, and I'm using the So Sincere stamp set that's also in the mini catalog. It has a bunch of really nice sentiments, and I'm going to choose the, let's see, which one did I choose? I think it did So Very Proud of You. Okay, and we'll go ahead and use a Berry Burst ink pad for that, and stamp that down, get rid of my little excess. So very proud of you. Perfect. All right. Now this can get attached to the layer that I made, right? The mat, like so. And then with a dimensional, I'm going to attach this to the card. Now, you know how I always say that I like to, when I'm using something that's embossed, I like to make sure that I'm using wet glue because it helps get in the nooks and crannies. But another great thing to do is to actually use dimensionals. Now I put that in the wrong place. I don't want it there. Because dimensionals are very strong and they really work well with the dimension on the paper. Okay, so I'm going to press that down, and there we have that. And for the last thing, I am going to use some gems, and these are right here in the catalog, in the main catalog. These are the Adhesive Backed Sequins Trio. Comes with Pretty Peacock, Basic White, or clear, and they're called white. You can see I've used a lot of these already. And then the Berry Burst, these coordinate with the Berry Burst perfectly. So I'm going to put my 3 little Berry Burst sequins onto my card, just in random places. Let's see, I'll put one there. And finally, I will put one here to make sure that everybody is looking at the sentiment. And so there we have it. It's a quick and easy card made with those circle punches. Remember the two smaller circle punches, these two, are online only on there. So they're an online exclusive, as is the paper. So if you haven't taken a look, you might want to jump over and take a look at the Stampin' Up! Website. I'll have the dimensions for this card along with the link to my store in the notes beneath this video, so that you can take a look at everything that's there and you can look beyond the catalog. So I just want to say, of course, we've had a little tip today, and I'm going to feature this tip on my blog or on my website tomorrow. But it's using your emery board to sand the edges of your circle punches if they have a little extra residue, and make sure that you get your mammogram if you haven't already. All right, so that's it for today. We'll see you the next time. Thank you. Bye.